Choi is live at Bush Airport following the story of the man arrested in connection to the couple found buried on a South Texas beach. Good morning, Michelle.
Hey, good morning, Xavier. 33-year-old Adam Curtis Williams was arrested in Jalisco, Mexico yesterday before he was flown here into Bush Airport, then driven to Kingsville just outside of Corpus Christi. That is where he is this morning in jail, being held on a $1 million bond. Take a look. Cameras were rolling as he was being walked into the Kleberg County Jail. When asked if he knew the New Hampshire couple or why he had their truck and RV, he did not answer us. Now, Williams was wanted in connection with the deaths of Navy veteran James Butler and his wife Michelle. Their remains were discovered buried in a shallow grave on Padre Island last week. The arrest comes just a few days after this image showed Williams and a woman now identified as Amanda Nover crossing the border into Mexico, driving the Butler's truck and RV. Nover was also arrested yesterday and is being held in Mexico along with their son. Both Nover and Williams are from Utah, and of course Williams faces several other criminal charges there. Now, authorities in Kleberg County will be holding a press conference later this morning at 10 a.m. We'll be streaming that live on our website at khou.com. Guys.
All right, Michelle, thank you.